So how do you do your best work? Especially if you're under circumstances where you have pressure and uncertainty and you have to still somehow be creative. Not an easy task. For me, there's two things that really help me. One is care, the other one is flow. When I first started making these videos, it was an experiment. But then so many of you liked them, commented on it, shared it, or even sent me messages saying, please keep them coming. So I care. I care about you, and this is why I make these videos, and that's why I do my very best to do good work here, right? And I care about humanity as such, and I think right now we need lots more people who are able to deal with the pressure and the chaos that we are finding ourselves in, and still do, and even more so, do good work. Right? So care is one, right? I care about you and I care about the state of the world, and I have a real purpose behind my work. The other one is flow. And flow actually is this interesting state of being. You probably experienced it before, where you're really like in it, right? And you're just, time is, compressing or expanding, and you're just in the thing, and it keeps coming out of you, right? So how do you create this kind of flow state? Well, from the research that's out there, it shows that it's a mixture of discipline and surrender, right? When you think about it, chaos and order, right? And between chaos and order, that's where something new emerges, right? Where some new innovation can come in, where creativity can come in, right? It's right on that intersect between chaos and order. Now, if you have too much chaos, things collapse, right? If you have too much order, it becomes authoritarian and fascist, and it doesn't work very well either, right? So the key is to figure out what's in between those two. Right? There's a certain level of surrender to the chaos and letting go, right? And there's a certain amount of discipline to give you structure. And so when you think about your own work, right, think about what can you put in place to give you discipline and structure, whether it's setting a timer or writing down some specific outcomes you would like to have, giving yourself some constraint, right? So that there is, some real force behind what you're doing. And at the same time, letting go. Right? Letting go and knowing that whatever wants to come in is going to be bigger than who you are right now. Right? This is the whole point of being in a flow state, because you're kind of transcending yourself, coaxing out your genius, and I'll talk about that more in a future video, but bringing yourself to a place where you're not getting in the way. Right? And something new can actually emerge, where you're not married to your ideas or something that you thought it has going to be this way or that way, but where you let go a little bit as well. Right? So if you want to be in a flow state, and I've seen it in the artists, I've seen it in creative teams, innovation teams, anybody that had to work, especially under pressure, and had to still come up with something creative in the middle of chaos, in the middle of uncertainty, it's all about being in a flow state. And there's a lot of research about you. I'll put some info in the comments on that as well. But see how you get into a flow state, right? What works for you? What brings you a state where you have a certain amount of discipline, but you also feel safe enough to let go and surrender, right? And again, start with care, right? Because that really ultimately really determines the quality of your work. It creates that belonging part that I talked about in my last video about intrinsic motivation. Right, and why so many people are disengaged at work, because they don't know what to care about anymore. Right? So care and flow, two simple ways for you to do your best work. Curious what works for you? If you want to leave me a comment and tell me how you get into a flow state and what are some of your rituals to get you there.